So in this revision session, we begin with the first module, where introduction to services management, and we have covered many of the topics, like meaning of this services. Even there are certain concepts associated to this, characteristics, and today we are discussing about classification of services. See, into the classification of services, let us take a beginning with respect to the concern of the first classification is degree of intangibility. See, into the degree of intangibility, maybe we can go for taking the consideration. The first question is going to get begin, like, do we have a tangibility spectrum which is associated with services? Yes, it is true. Okay, so purely tangible aspects are there, partial tangible are there, intangible are also there. So purely tangible, where the products are going to get highlighted more rather than services. Okay, so probably your services are completely neglected into those products purchase. Maybe our day-to-day activities as like buying milk from the store. Probably we never bother about how does this particular seller of that milk is going to behave in the morning time. Okay, rather than his behavior, attitude, just we are going to focus more onto the consideration of buying that milk packet and having a tea or coffee. That's quite important, correct? Rather than that shopkeeper's attitude. Maybe the degree of partial tangibility. Yes, partially, where people they are focusing more on the products also as well as equivalent to services also. So where into this particular segment point of view, however the products are going to be valid, however the product is going to get importance, based upon the same thing, equivalently the services are also going to be the matter. Maybe we are going to buy provision items, groceries once in a week, once in a month, correct? And we give an equivalent amount of preference to that particular instinct. How does this particular services provider is going to showcase his attitude? How does he is going to convey the messages? How does he is going to do that home delivery? Correct. So a number of things are going to get associated. That's to be considered as a partially tangible or partially intangible, and purely intangible. Three things are associated into degree of intangibility. One is purely tangible, partially tangible, and the last one is purely intangible. Yeah, that third thing we are discussing, purely intangible. So where service is only the matter, we never bother about what kind of that particular products are available there. We never bother about that. Probably I can go for taking a simple consideration that maybe you're trying to celebrate your birthday party in one of the hotels. What and all the facilities he has provided, how does their attitude is associated, how they have created, how they have made a felicitation in front of the customers, correct? So those services are getting highlighted rather than the product available there. Yes, it's all about degree of purely intangible aspects. And come to the second point, producer services versus consumer services. Yes, very much sure that producer versus consumer services. It is completely the pattern. Producer services are completely different, where B2B, consumer services are completely different, B2C. So into B2B and B2C, this particular segment viewpoint, majority of the thing is going to take place as such like people how they are going to believe that this producer service is quite important. Maybe service is going to be least bother in producer services because B2B segment where the product transfer is very much important for them instead of the attitude of the person, behavioral approach of the person, they never bother into the producer services. Whereas consumer service, very much important. They need to showcase, they in a sense, the services provider need to showcase a proper amount of attitude, gratitude, their behavioral pattern, everything need to be under control. Everything need to be expressed properly. Then only consumer services are going to get win the competition. Correct? Third point is about the status of services within the total product offer. Now the question is going to get begin as like, so what kind of status of service is going to be there within that total product offer? Yes, possibility is there that how much ever you are trying to focus on the services, that much of the products are going to get sell it off in the market. Maybe I can go for naming it as such like you would like to buy any one of the motor vehicle, that is a two-wheeler or it's a four-wheeler. It is very much sure your immediately the first priority is the cost, but the first and foremost aspect is whether services are available for this motor vehicle or not. That is the question. Correct? So it is almost such like where equivalent amount of status quo will be there for the services also as like the product which is being offered by the firm. Okay, and come to the fourth point, extent of inseparability. So services are inseparable from the services provider, but the question is going to get begin, can we able to separate, can we able to separate? That's a question. Separate, these two are opposite terms. Okay, so the extent of inseparability, again it's going to be the first point is separable services, partially separable services, inseparable services. Three things. So what exactly the first thing is about separable services? So we can able to separate the services from the product. Probably somebody is selling up a mixer grinder in the showroom. Now, by tomorrow, the food menu at your home is dosa. Whether that dosa batter supposed to be grinded by that shopkeeper? No, that has to be grinded by yourself. You cannot claim as such like he has sold a mixer grinder to me, sir. So he only come to my home and do this grinding, and that batter is supposed to be prepared by him only. No, services are separable. Correct? Then partially separable. I'm going to continue with the same example. Maybe some of the technical errors are going to take place in that mixer grinder. Probably you're expecting that has to get repaired. Okay, so absolute true that that has to get repaired, and people whomsoever they are willing to buy that particular product, they're also going to ask the immediate next question is that, do you have a repair service facility in this particular showroom? Correct? So it is partially separable and inseparable. Maybe this education service is purely inseparable. Okay, so probably whatever this teacher is teaching and how much ever it is getting conveyed to the students, everything is going to be acting as like inseparable. Probably I need to convey these amount of messages. You need to listen to this particular topic. Then only you can able to get accustomed with this particular topic very easily. The fifth point is about the pattern of services delivery. Yes, certain moment of the particular situations are going to get raised. We are going to give a huge amount of importance to this services delivery. The question is going to get raised as such like, sir, do we need to give much importance for this services delivery? Answer is yes. Certain amount of patterns will be there. Probably that services delivery, what you are trying to make a offering, that's going to get highlight more compared to the products what you are offering. Maybe I can go for taking all these online food delivery services as like a Zomato or else whatever it is. So okay, so absolutely true that you are trying to give much importance to their services delivery, that within 20 minutes or else half an hour, whatever they have scheduled that particular time is going to be most important, because that product is negligible. The reasons are there that you have selected from the hotel which you know the quality of food of that particular hotel which is getting produced. You never bother about that particular product what you have ordered, because you know their quality and your importance is there on this particular Zomato service, when he's going to pick that and at what time he's going to reach to your place where you are expecting the product need to be delivered. Correct? It's almost just like a pattern of a services delivery. Is that highly important or least important? That is the biggest question. Okay, so you need to decide what kind of services you are offering. Maybe for that hotel person, that is the services delivery to your respective place is negligible for him, because in case if you are not going to order also, somebody will come to his hotel and he is going to have it there. Zomato is not quite important for him, correct? But in spite of that also, as according to your order what it is being given by you, is going to keep that parcel ready, as like that Zomato person is going to come and pick from hotel, correct? That is partially negligible for him, the hotel person, whereas fully important of this services delivery to this Zomato person. So now you people understood the difference between partially important over this particular services delivery and fully important over the services delivery. Extent of people orientation, sixth point. So whether people they are much focused over the work or not, that's a question. People here in the sense your employees. So whether your employees are so focused, so oriented towards their job, whether their preference is at the higher, medium or low grade with respect to clients' expectations. Yes, your employees' behavior, attitude, and creating that comfort zone for the customers will be there at the higher level when it comes to personalized or customized services. Maybe I can go for taking a simple consideration that one of the company, one who is offering all these BPO services for the customer care, can you able to create that generalized personal BPO sector? That's the biggest question. And the true answer is no. We cannot make a generalized BPO sector. That has to be restricted for certain country, group of customers, and the products delivered. Correct? So that is going to be a quite important aspect, because your people have been trained for addressing those kind of customers. Maybe assume that you're there with India. Very much sure India is having nearly around 20 plus languages people they are going to speak, and maybe your primary importance is about Hindi only, but how many of proper Hindi speaking people can be found in Karnataka? Maybe that's a huge amount of question, where probably hardly around 40% of the people they can speak manageable Hindi, not proper Hindi. Okay, and 60% of Kannada people they may not able to speak Hindi properly, or else even they cannot able to manage Hindi properly. Sir, what exactly the problem with Kannada or else Karnataka people in terms of understanding or else learning national language? No. Whether that national language is being made mandatory as a commercial language, that's a question. If it is being commercially being made, then these Karnataka people also would have learned that Hindi properly. Now, let me come back to this BPO sector. I was continuing with that particular example only, correct? So now you're running a BPO, business process outsourcing, with respect to that communication between company and customer. Okay, then your employee should know that local language, correct? Then how many local languages you are going to give him a training? That's going to be biggest question mark, correct? That's the reason whenever you are going to give a call to customer care, the options will come which language you would like to select. Why? Reason is same. You will be having number of employees into your BPO company. Those number of employees, they are expertise in that particular regional language. Okay, and if you have selected Kannada, yes, first button you have pressed to select Kannada. Now it's going to be one of the addressing concern is that yes, somebody is on the way with respect to that call. Now you need to wait for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. That message will come. Yeah, you're going to wait for 2 minutes. Then it's going to get connected to that person. Why? Because customized. Now you got the importance of people orientation. Your employees supposed to be expertise into that approaches only. Then only everyone can able to meet, everyone can able to reach that particular state of action. Seventh point, significance of services to the purchaser. The question is so clear. The significance of these services to the buyer, seller. How exactly we are going to move, or else how exactly we are going to take the consideration that it is quite important to everyone. Yes, we can able to take the consideration that the first point is just like the importance of this services to this buyer. Sometimes it is quite negligent. Second, partially important. Third, purely important. First point we were discussing that negligible. I'll get back to the same example what I have given with respect to that producer and consumer services. Mixer grinder. You have purchased that mixer grinder. When you're going to put prepare that dosa batter, maybe you're not expecting that shopkeeper to come to your house and prepare that dosa batter with that mixer grinder, because you have purchased from his shop, correct? So the services expectations by the purchaser is negligible. they are not expecting you to come to his house and do that process of preparing the dosa batter. Correct? Whereas with the continuation, significance is partially important. So what kind of partially important it is? He's expecting that repair services, he's expecting all the amount of additional services in case if any kind of the part of that particular mixer grinder is not working properly, that should be availed with your shop. Correct? Maybe I can go for taking one more consideration is that purely important. Significance in the sense importance. Correct? Purely important. Service is only important. Yes, certain amount of time, the question is going to get raised. Sir, with that mixer grinder, can I able to continue my example here? Purely important. Yes, it is available. Where properly you are going to run the show that how exactly the same product is going to be available, how exactly you are going to make this product to be available. Marketable and unmarketable services. So marketable services are all such like where it is going to be available with the producer, one who is selling those products, and people, they're expecting the same amount of services. Unmarketable, groceries, vegetables, unmarketable, but in spite of that also you're expecting the services of this person also regularly. He's supposed to be availed in the same market so that I can able to buy this particular product. Correct? That's the thing which is associate into that marketable versus unmarketable services.